Coming in at number 12 on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings, probably the best all-around defenseman in this draft class. And with all due respect to Matthew Schaefer, from the Tri-City Americans, we've got Calgary native Jackson Smith, who I can't find a weakness in this guy's game.
Yeah, Jackson Smith is a really nice prospect. Left shot defenseman, 6'3", 190 pounds. With the Tri-City Americans last season, 68 games, 11 goals, 43 assists for 54 points, a +2. Then in the playoffs, only 5 games, but he had 3 points in that. And he also spent some time with Team Canada at the U18s in 7 games. He had 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points, and finished a +7. And Ross, he joins this new age, new wave of new era of prospects going from a CHL league to the NCAA next year. He will be playing at Penn State University,
where he will be teammates with Senators goalie prospect Kevin Riedler. And there are still rumors that 2026 likely first overall pick Gavin McKenna is considering joining Penn State, which would just be even more reason that they'd be appointment viewing. But with Jackson Smith, who's, I think you were doing him dirty a little bit there, because at the combine, he was 6'4", 199. What'd you have him at?
I was just going by EP, but I don't think they updated. 6'3", 190. So he gained an inch and 9 pounds. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, and he's May birthday, so just turned 18 in May. You mentioned left shot, and how about the left side of our top analyst rankings? A little bit lower than on the right. We've got Bob McKenzie at 10th overall. Again, that's the midterms. Craig Button at 13th overall. Scott Wheeler at 17th. And Corey Pronman, 20th? Huh? Then you've got the other side of the ledger. Elite prospects at 6th overall. 6th. Then you have McKean's at 7. And Locked On NHL prospects at 9. When we saw EPs, we were like, whoa, because we hadn't seen McKean's updated. We hadn't seen Sebastian over at Locked On NHL prospects, but they're not on an island with that pick. Jackson Smith has a ton of very heavy supporters in this draft class, but even with those high marks, comes in with an average of 11.71. Now, when you talk about an all-around defenseman that you hope can be a top pair guy, to me, if I'm drafting Jackson Smith, I know that at the very least, and this is high praise, and I mean it, at the very least, you're getting a guy who's going to play in one of the 2 spots on your left side for 10 years. He's going to be a top 4 defenseman in the league, and I'm almost sure of it.
Yeah, I don't think that's that crazy, Ross. He has so many tools. He was the 2nd overall pick in the 2022 WHL draft. He's a smooth skater that goes up the ice with confidence. You find guys open, rushing to the net. And he does this thing, at least I notice in his highlights, where he makes it look like he's just casually chucking the puck on net, but he's got purpose to it. He does a lot of pass off the pads plays, or he makes it look like he's just slinging it, but it's actually going wide of the net and right onto a teammate's tape for a backdoor tap in. Very impressive highlight tape. Now, there are some, I don't want to say flaws, but maybe concerns is a better way to put it. Wheeler says his reads and processing needs work, and he can skate himself into trouble sometimes. Corey Pronman mentions his defensive play isn't consistent, and he can get caught up attacking too much. So that's one of those things where I feel like a junior player, a junior defenseman, when you have the skills that Jackson Smith has, you can get a little greedy and really try to ramp up the offense. So I think he's going to have to work on his decision-making and remembering that he's a defenseman, and sometimes he's got to hold back and hold the fort down a little bit more.
You know what's funny? You mentioned that because one of the scouts told EP when you're talking about his reads, a scout in May said that Smith could go number 1 if he could think. Instead, you hope he could become Philip Broberg.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Philip Broberg, he had the tools as a prospect as well, but sometimes you just can't figure it out. I don't want to say mentally, that sounds bad, but sometimes your mind doesn't catch up with your physical skills. And there's a lot of runway left for Jackson Smith. And I think him going to college is definitely a good move. It's crazy that we're now in an age where you're able to do that, but I think it benefits a certain crop of players. And I think it'll benefit Jackson Smith.
Yeah, I think so too. And I also think that him being more time in the gym and watching film, probably more so, is going to be the way to go after playing 68 games this season in the regular year. And then now he's going to be going down to 36 in college. I'm excited to see this guy go. Very safe, projectable prospect, much like Logan Hensler, who I'm way higher on Jackson Smith than Logan Hensler, but in that crop of, you know what you're going to get. Is just what's the upside. And I would bet on Jackson Smith's upside because he does have that offensive awareness and skill to be able to get pucks through and to his teammates in the offensive zone. What are your Senators stars for Jackson Smith?
I've got him at 4 stars, Ross. He's not going to be in the Sens range. Let's just start off with that. But also, I am a little nervous that he's going to try to do too much. And then when those things don't work in the upper levels and when he gets to pros, he's going to get frustrated and he's going to have a hard time playing his game. But there's certainly a lot to like about him too. And the scout polls for EP had him as the best neutral zone defender, second best 4-way mobility and offensive defenseman, third best puck moving D, fourth best highest floor and shutdown D man. So like you can see, he's got little pockets of talent all over his game, but can he find a way to think the game properly? That's the risk you're taking here. I'm not saying it's a complete gamble. I think, like you said, it's likely he's going to be a top 4 defenseman, but where is his potential going to land? That remains to be seen.
And we will find out which prospect pool he will become. I believe the first, if at worst, the second best prospect in whatever pool he ends up selecting. And that fan base is going to be watching a ton of Penn State games, and we'll be really curious to see how he ends up there. Jackson Smith comes in to our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings with an average of 11.71 at 12th overall. You can find all of our draft profiles available for free on YouTube.